US President Donald Trump and world football are taking centre stage at a ceremony in Washington, D.C. Now, FIFA has awarded Trump its inaugural Peace Prize. That's ahead of the draw for next year's World Cup. FIFA President Gianni Infantino has hailed Trump for efforts to resolve conflicts around the world while presenting the award at the Kennedy Center. The US is co-hosting the 2026 World Cup with Mexico and Canada. Leaders from all three countries are attending the event.
This is truly one of the great honors of my life. And beyond awards, Johnny and I were discussing this. We saved millions and millions of lives. The Congo, as an example, over 10 million people killed, and it was heading for another 10 million very quickly. And it just, the fact that we could do that, India, Pakistan, so many different wars that we're able to end, in some cases a little bit before they started, just right before they started. It was going to be late, but we got them done.
Right, Alan Fisher is live outside the White House for us. But first, let's talk to Heidi Zhou-Castro at the Kennedy Center. Now, Heidi, tell us about this prize. It's FIFA's first ever Peace Prize, we know.
It is, and it was by no happenstance that this prize was, in essence, invented right after Trump was passed over for the Nobel Peace Prize, which he very much wanted, and after his good friend, FIFA's President Infantino, said he would create this FIFA Peace Prize. And you heard him say to the president, handing him that medal, that this is something that he can wear every day. It is something that Trump truly has wanted, and it came as no surprise that he was the inaugural recipient today. In fact, all of this choreography we have seen here inside the Kennedy Center has been really politicizing, in a way, this event, which is supposed to be apolitical. Trump had a hand in making Washington, D.C. the place where this FIFA World Cup final draw would happen. Initially had been discussed to take place in Las Vegas as the last time the U.S. hosted the World Cup. And he also insisted that it happen here within the Kennedy Center, which is the nation's preeminent cultural center that Trump made himself the chairman of when he returned to office. And that is why we are seeing him in center stage as this draw continues.
Right, and Alan Fisher, you're our chief US correspondent, standing there for us outside what looks like a snowy White House. How big a moment is this in the US? Do they even follow football the same way the rest of the world does?
Well, for the United States, of course, it is a big deal. They're used to handling big events. And, of course, they're sharing the hosting of this with Canada and Mexico. But it is the biggest World Cup that we've ever seen. 48 games. Most of them will be somewhere within the United States. But it's a test. It's a test for the logistics. It's a test for security. And it's a test of the immigration systems. Donald Trump has said that people will be welcome to come and people who have tickets will be put to the front of the immigration line. But, of course, there's some concern that fans might not turn up simply because they're worried about the political climate in the United States at the moment. They're worried about the immigration crackdown. They're worried if they will fall foul of some regulation somewhere. So it is a test for the United States. And of course, they're bringing in fans from the likes of Iran and countries in Africa that Donald Trump in the past has very vocally decried. There is a current travel ban on 19 nations. Some of them, including Iran, have qualified for the World Cup. So this is a big test. If you host the World Cup, you're meant to welcome the world. So everyone will be watching to see whether the United States actually does that.
Right, Alan, of course, and, that is a concern for many fans. But Heidi, immigration policies are a concern for many. How about when it comes to the preparations for the World Cup next year?
Yeah, there's some uncertainty because Trump, again, has politicized this World Cup in saying that the U.S. host cities, which he deems to be, in his words, unsafe and led by what he calls liberal Democrats. And he's been trying to make an argument that there's rampant crimes in the cities, which the statistics don't always pan out. But he has threatened to remove the matches from those cities. Does he have that power? That is unclear. But certainly that does create an era of uncertainty. It's also interesting that the World Cup, that FIFA did not go through the U.S. Soccer Federation in coordinating the locations of these U.S. matches. Instead, they went directly to the host cities themselves. And so cutting out another voice here, that there are fewer voices planning this World Cup than previous hosts. And one of them very loudly is Donald Trump. And again, that's why we are seeing him, the showman, and also the celebrated recipient of this Peace Award, taking center stage today.
Right. If I come back to you, Alan, when you look at the leaders of Mexico and Canada also being there, so you have 3 different countries hosting the World Cup with 3 very different views, certainly when it comes to the tariffs and immigration as well, as we were mentioning there.
Thank you. Have a great time.
Exactly. 2 leaders who've had their problems with Donald Trump in the past, to the extent where the Canadians under Mark Carney have said that they no longer consider themselves to be a trading partner with the United States, that the very old relationship between the 2 countries has been fractured by Donald Trump being in the White House. President Sheinbaum has also had issues with Donald Trump, but she's been able to navigate a slightly gentler path. But there's no doubt there are issues between the 3 host nations. There has to be a great deal of coordination on things like security, on immigration, and also the logistics. There is a committee that will do that. But Donald Trump, as we know, likes to be involved in everything, particularly when it's something on the world stage. So there's a long time between now and the opening game in Mexico City in June. So there's a lot of obstacles between now and then, but clearly FIFA will be hoping this can go very smoothly indeed.
Right, and speaking about hope, Alan, I'll stay with you there because let's talk Scotland. Who are you going to be supporting during the World Cup?
Well, I think I am Scottish. You may have noticed. It's going to be it's a difficult draw. Scotland tend to get the group of death. I mean, come on, Brazil and Morocco, for heaven's sake. It's a really, and Haiti aren't bad either. It's a really tough draw. I would say normally that with a group like that would be home before the postcards, but in Steve Clarke we trust. So let's see if we can get to out of the group stage for the first time in our history.
Well, Alan, dreams can come true. So thanks very much to the both of you, Alan and Heidi, there in the US.